Okay, everyone else is doing a year-end reviews. Um, I might as well do a little bit. It was very different for me. A little bit of a different experience, and it wasn't really a good one. It's still sort of struggling to sing, to come to hurdle over it. Um, just sort of really sad in the end. Um, that it was all wrong. It's all just a very bad situation, and that woman is awful, and it's just horrible. But I suppose it's something different. Said I was going to sort of embrace it a bit. Yeah, it's just really sad. Very sad. Um, could be worse. Could be sort of in Ukraine. That's. Oh, I'll mention that again. I don't know. When is it going to stop? Zelensky was at US Congress getting the Netanyahu treatment, the standing ovations and grovelling. The great Satan, eh? It really is the great Satan. Um, the weather's crazy, gone crazy here. Mentioned that in Ukraine before. I don't know. How things are gonna. I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. There's nothing in the world that makes any sense, is there? There's still this sort of Branch Covidianism, hysteria, Kerry chant. They're determined to push on. They're determined to create a very different world under the foot of um, the doctors. They're out of their minds. A lot of them are just completely crazy. Fascist sort of maniacs. German guy, I think what's his name, Lauterbach or something like that. Scrawny guy, looks like a villain, real villainous type creature just by the look of him. He's a maniac. Talking about climate lockdowns, and then he forgot in the interview he's being interviewed by someone skeptical, not a lapdog, and he said it was a conspiracy theory. Then he realised that he wasn't talking to a lapdog, a propagandist, and he sort of panicked. You could see the panic in his eyes that he'd messed it up. Everything they don't like is a conspiracy theory. So yeah, the year it's been a hard year, but that's every year, isn't it? But it was hard for different reasons this year. And sort of towards the end of the year, I sort of saw the other side of a few sort of women. I won't go into details about that. But I don't know. I can't be a whipping boy for other people's sort of trauma and problems, and can't take it out of me because I'm sort of a bit vulnerable. I don't really want to just cop that, really. Well, my life's too hard to be a whipping boy for people who have better lives than me, frankly. Um, so I'm gonna get my sort of honey badger if I have to do that again. Go honey badger mode. Stoffel, look up him. He was a maniac. Geez, he was a funny bugger, little Stoffel, South African honey badger. He got into the keeper's room, and the old guy. This really funny story I saw. It was a screenshot. They made a documentary about him. I think it was on BBC or something. And he got into the guy's room overnight because he gets into the fridge. He just busts into the home and rummages through the fridge. And he went into the bedroom. And this guy's just absolutely panicked, as you would. I don't think they really attack people that much, but you don't really want a honey badger in your bedroom when you're sitting there and you're sort of semi-naked, possibly, and honey badger in there. And he got the taser out for old Stoffel, and he put it on his head, the taser, and did nothing. It didn't bother him. He just started growling at the guy, so he jumped out the window. He just left Stoffel in there and jumped out the window. Just in awe of that little fella. I don't know whether he's still alive. He's really smart. They're really smart, actually. Saw a clip where he gets on the shovel, I think, or the rake, and crawls up there and gets out of his little pen. Absolutely in awe of that guy. He's a hero. Stoffel, the honey badger. So maybe a little bit of honey badgers might be necessary. Next year could be worse. Don't know where the craziness ends. But so a happy Hanukkah and a happy Christmas and holidays or whatever. Diwali, I think, is over. That was, I think, last month. Maybe 2023 we can do a few things about certain issues. Got to be a bit more proactive, I think. Got to stick up for ourselves a little bit more because it's our world too. That was in the Princess Diana documentary. I watched that. I showed it to my mother, actually. She didn't like it much. Hitchens on Diana the morning after, and I think twice it comes up about people who didn't really go along with the cult after she died. They said it's our country too, about England, and I say that more generally, it's our sort of world too. For the wretched of the earth and volcels and incels and outsiders of all kinds, the wretched of the earth everywhere. It's our place too. Sometimes the elites and elite sort of propagandise people do forget that. And we have every right to assert ourselves, our own rights. Carl Bayer's trying to. I'd mentioned him a couple of times. He was a smart guy, Carl, but he's lost the plot. He's lost the plot, poor old Carl. He did a Substack where he's, the arguments for free speech, right? This is the argument. This is my natural right. It's a natural right as a person. And there's no arguments to be had with it. You can't intellectualize. It's not to be intellectualized or debated. It's not up for debate. There's no freedom of expression is not up for debate. There is no debate to be had. And people on the so-called left, I'd say, tend to over intellectualize things. Carl Bayer doesn't understand that there's no debate. It's not a debate. It's a natural inborn right that is not under discussion in any way. It's not to be debated. There is no debate. And that's not always there's not always a debate to be had. Some things just are a natural right, an inborn right, a societal right in any society, and it's not up for debate. So there's no point in writing that. I reject any attempt to debate this because it's not a debate-worthy subject. It's like our own existence. Lockdowns are not under debate because they're a fundamental breach of human rights. Bodily autonomy, the right to refuse vaccines, refuse medical treatment in any case is a fundamental right. And there's no discussion about it. Unfortunately, it's not to be debated. There is no debate. We're used to debating because it drives the social media and the like, and it drives revenue for the corporations. Elon Musk now. But sometimes there is nothing to be said. And I say this, the discussion, Carl, is over. There is no debate.